Hey fam, I'm just here to film a real quick intro. You're about to watch kind of a discombobulated vlog, but if you stick till the end, you'll get a full breakdown and explanation of all the exciting and vast changes in my life. So here we go. Here's some footage that I was like real weird and shy about, but stick with me till the end and you'll get the full tea. What, Jesse? What?
Shit's happening in my apartment.
Well, the people are asking.
Yeah,
So
I mean, in her defense, they are.
They literally
They
are.
literally are asking for a YouTube update specifically.
And I'm talking more than 2 people.
I saw two.
One of them was in a text message.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, hello. I wasn't planning on vlogging, but here we are. Jessica, are you recording me?
I am recording you.
That's the right call.
You see those comments? You see those comments flowing in?
I do. I do see that.
Well, anyway, hey guys. This is Jake.
Hi. How's it going?
Jake and I are dating. Okay, bye. That's all I can muster right now. We'll talk more later. But here's an update and an intro and a mimosa at 10 p.m. God bless. Hi, Jesse. Oh, do you guys remember, if you're a true dedicated person who watches, do you remember the vlog I posted over spring break when I was at that brunch place with Jesse when the girl was playing all the Taylor Swift music? I was texting him back then, and look at us now. That's the tea. I don't know why I didn't do this before I took off all my makeup and have my hair that looks like this, but I'm just quickly giving you a little bit more of a proper vlog like intro. I don't know. Guys, it's been a minute. A lot has been happening in my corner. A lot. So it's Friday, May 21st today, and I have a boyfriend. And his name is Jake, and you met him. And more on that later. But we'll see if I figure out how to vlog again, because I'm like too shy and squirrely in this moment. But if I do, you'll see some cool stuff. And love you so much. I mean, several of you commented on my Instagram post that I posted of us today, and we're like, we're gonna need an update. So that's what this is, an attempt at being. But it is late right now, real late. We are both night owls, and put together, it's not a good, you know, it doesn't always bode well for the two of us, but it's a Friday night. So see you tomorrow. Good night.
The lens here.
What do you have to say for yourself?
About what? Could you clarify what I'm supposed to be speaking on?
Nope. Just in general.
Just in general. Kind Coffee makes really good breakfast sandwiches. Mm-hmm. Okay, what is going on here? I wore this pink shirt today for you.
Thank you. I wore this yellow shirt today, but then didn't properly read the forecast, and now it's...
Yeah.
Pouring might be a bit of a dramatic...
It's definitely dramatic. That's definitely dramatic.
Might be taking it a bit far. But
yeah, it's not pouring.
It's raining.
It is Portlanding.
Yeah.
It is just a little rain. Just a little rain.
Yep.
An amount of rain I feel pretty good about, honestly.
I do too, only because I grabbed this sweatshirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to carry this little cloth that's staying with me.
I can put it in my purse if you want.
Sorry, I got my secret agent.
You don't need it. He has like 800 pockets and that thing.
Yeah.
Well, how you feeling? Hold on.
Good. And now this lens is clean and dry.
Sweet. Okay, well, see ya.
Bye.
Okay, guys, here's the deal. We're at Rogue. Jake's ordering. That's all for now.
You lying?
I'm not lying. Drink it. Cannoli, do you finally like Jakey? I don't know why the flash is on, buddy. He's gonna miss you. It'll be a hard contest between me and him.
I'll miss him too, but it won't be a hard contest between him and you. I miss him more, but I won't miss him.
Well, guys, it's Monday morning. And I just had to drop Jakey off at the airport. So we are officially a long distance couple. But fortunately, I have a lot to say on this vlog. I have a lot of updates to give. I was gonna say, fortunately, it's temporary. So spoiler alert, fam, I'm moving back to Arizona. Moving back to my home state, which is where Jake is from, which is where I am from. And when it is not this early and I haven't had enough coffee yet, etc., 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 I'll give you the full story of one Catherine and one Jake. Not Jacob. Just Jake. Hey vlog, what up? It's Saturday and I've not updated you yet. I'm gonna do that, but right now I'm in this really cute park in like the Hawthorne area and I'm looking for my girl Sarah, who's in town, but I don't see her. So that's what's happening now. Hopefully I'll show her to you if I find her. Here they are.
Hello.
Sarah and Mac. Wait, show them your shirt because your shirt is sick. What a queen. Okay, I have to put on a mask. We're going into a coffee place, but BRB. Not in Pals. No, we are not. Dude, this is such a vibe in here.
I want my house to look like
I know. Literally. It's just this like really cool, hip, old bookstore. And there's like a little child sitting in the hallway up there, so I'm not sure what's happening, but oh, look at the piano. Oh no! But do you work here? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
This is the secret door, like through here.
Oh.
I want to see.
This is crazy. What's through there, honey? What's through like there?
That's the back room.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
I really want to lick this.
I know.
That I can't until we get outside. Look at that. Goosebumps. Ooh.
That looks like pesto.
Gross. Sorry. Wait, what did she say the green was? I forget. I guess we'll see. Hello, vlog. Here's the deal. I don't know for sure how I'm going to do this because this is such a discombobulated, like, smattering of clips. But when I get home, eventually at some point, I'm going to show you my vintage haul of things that I got when Sarah and Mac were here, which was only like 2 days ago, just to update you on like the time frame right now. And B, I'm gonna give you all the life updates. I'm gonna give you a more clear, concise explanation of Jake and more details on what's to come in the life of Catherine. So I just wanted to say, hey, hi, what's up, what's happening? It is hot today. I'm in a weird mood, and I really have been kind of for the last couple days. So sometimes the only thing that works in that case is for me to just like get up and go do something. So that's what I'm doing. But I will see you back home later, alligator. Hi guys, we are home now for the day. Frenemies is what's paused on the TV. This is an older episode. Disclaimer, I think that, well, I know that some people, can you see me if I sit? Not really. Have really not so great opinions on frenemies and Trisha Paytas, and I understand that. So I'm not endorsing or condoning or negating people's feelings about her, but I am a fan of this show and a fan of the things that they talk about on their platform, which from my lens are positive social issues that I care about. So just want to say that. Okay, this is not working because I want to sit down, but then I'm real far away. So let's go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna show you the vintage things that I got, and then I'll tell you about my life. All right, so we're down on the floor, and I don't know that aesthetically this is really better or, hi Cannoli. That helps, that makes everything more aesthetically pleasing. I wanted to show you when Sarah and Mac were here, we mostly hung around on Hawthorne, which is like a really cool street and like neighborhood here in Portland. And it's hard to explain, because it's not to say that I've never been into like a thrift store before or a vintage store or whatever, because I totally have. But Sarah is just, you know, like way cooler than I am. I am way more of a basic, you know what? I know that. I know my place in this world and it's fine. But I was just laughing over the fact that Cannoli is being so cute. I wish you could see. He's like pulling his bed across the room here. But, you know, hanging out with her for one afternoon, apparently now I'm a brand new woman who like felt the need to do all these things. So the first place we went, oh man, you guys, I wish I remembered the name of the bookstore. I will try to put it on the screen. It was this bookstore that Sarah's boyfriend Mac looked up, and I'd never heard of it. It was right in an area that I'm actually familiar with. It wasn't on Hawthorne. And it's pretty nondescript, and it was the weirdest, quirkiest, coolest, most Portland, like weird bookstore of all time. Anyway, in that bookstore, things started, I'll show you where they started, and then they ended with me buying 4 books. Okay, so they started here, The Darker Brother. Now, this book, the cover in and of itself, and the title, like, it just caught my attention. I care a lot about social issues and learning about the Black experience and experiences of other marginalized communities. But anyway, so I picked this up, and it was like an inexpensive book, and like I just find, oh crap, I just ripped it. I find this fascinating. This was written in 1943. And it is, from what I can gather, a story that's meant to be like on the side of the person of color, as opposed to like on the side of the whites. So that combined with the fact that it's about an issue that I care about, I don't know, it just seemed so interesting to me. And the cover was just interesting. That was where we began. Then, you know, I recognized that I haven't like told you all about Jake yet. And actually, I haven't even told him this. I'll tell him this. Otherwise, I would say, hi, Jake, if you're watching. So then one of Jake's favorite authors is Kurt Vonnegut, who like, of course, this basic, you know what? Didn't really know who. I did actually recognize a lot of his like books when I saw what they were. And I'm sure Jake has read this and or owns it. But the point is that I saw a Kurt Vonnegut book, and if you would have seen this bookstore, it was the most haphazard, I mean, I did vlog part of it. It was the most haphazard, like unorganized bookstore I've ever seen in my life. So I think in that moment, I was even just like, wait, that's an author that I've like heard of. Cool. Like, because there were books in like French and in all these different languages from, it just was like so chaotic that this was like, oh my God, I need that because my boyfriend likes it. And I recognize it in this sea of things I don't recognize. So I got that. I didn't even show you what it is. It's called Welcome to the Monkey House. I know 0 about it. I will ask Jake. I'm sure he's read it, like I said. Then, this was 100% based on the cover that I picked this up. It's called The War Was Better. Now, part of the charm, I think, of like this type of bookstore, and Sarah herself even got a couple of books that are literally meant to be decor. So that is like potentially what category this is in. I don't know that I have some burning desire to like read this. And low key, I would say that for like the darker, actually, no, I do want to read that. But anyway, what year is this from? I don't even really know what it's about. Let's see. 1968. I think it's originally a German book. Maybe? Yeah, English translation. So the point is, yeah, it's an anti-war novel, brimming with riotous vitality. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. it just seemed like something I wanted to own, especially when I was in that headspace of like, I'm a cool girl now. And then this one was probably the most like modern. This one I was really on the fence about getting. It's called Very Nice by Marcy Dermansky. Once again, the simple yet bright cover is what drew me in. It's about, it says it's a post-Obama era, blah, 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 featuring a wealthy Connecticut divorcee, her college-age daughter, and the famous novelist who is seduced by both of them. It's supposed to be funny, and it's about sex, money, and race. And what sent me over the edge was the people on the back who like sang their praises. So Kevin Kwan, he's the author of Crazy Rich Asians. I've never actually read those, but I've seen the movie and whatever. I hear good things about the books. Emma Straub, I don't think I've read anything by her either, but I hear good things. But Maria Semple, who wrote Where'd You Go, Bernadette, which I love that book so much, she had like something good to say about this. So I was like, okay, if Maria Semple likes it, then I'm gonna like it. So those were the books. Then we went into Jackpot Records on Hawthorne. Now, I do have a record player. Ask me what records I own. Only Taylor Swift records. But the other day was the day that changed. So I used to work at Disney. If anybody here did not know that, I'm also obsessed with dogs. If anybody here did not know that, I mean to the point where within my arm's reach, I could reach a few different, well, I don't want to pull it, but I have, can you see them? Those are dog bookends. I don't want to pull it out because then the books will fall. Ah! So anyway, those two factors combined, when I saw this dog songs, and it's like this really cute vintage look because it is vintage, I wanted to own it. And I have no idea what this is, but I wanted to own it. I repeat. And then for only $8 was this Walt Disney's Trick or Treat. I love Huey, Dewey, and Louie. I'm here for like the Halloween. I just thought, hi, cutie boy. Something took over me and I just needed to own these things. And the guy, when I checked out, he was like, oh, Disney records, you really don't see very many of these. And if you do, they're always in terrible condition. Was he lying to me? Or was he telling me the truth? Either way, I don't really care. It made me feel good. So last but not least, we went to Crossroads, which if you're familiar, I think Crossroads are actually like all over the place because I went to look at their Instagram and they're not like only in the Pacific Northwest, but it is akin to like a Buffalo Exchange type of a place. And I had never been, and in my experience, I would say that I liked it better than Buffalo Exchange. Anyway, you guys, things got real weird inside of the old Crossroads. I got one extremely out of character, like, am I cool enough to pull this off? Probably not thing. And then I got one splurgy purchase that felt like it was like, you gotta do it. I'll show you. The first thing I got was this iridescent bucket hat. Wait a second, they didn't take the thing off. I'm discovering this in real time. I'm upset by this. So guess I gotta go back to Crossroads. But it is this, oh yeah, you can see it there. It's like a purple green, hello Barney, iridescent bucket hat. Now I'm gonna need to take my hair out to show you the vibes. I kind of felt like Olivia Rodrigo when I tried this on in the store. This is the most Gen Z hat of all time, I think, but I'm not Gen Z. I also don't wear hats. I have such thick hair, like hats just don't work for me, but in the moment, I just needed this. So I guess I could return it if I wanted to. Not saying that I want to, but being that I have to go back there anyway, I'm just simply saying, if we think it's a total miss, I could go back. Now, the other thing that I got, you guys, was a splurge, like I said, but when you see an Oscar de la Renta dress hanging up on the wall, and it is new with tags, and it is in pristine condition, and it is cute and your style, and you're, so sure, am I a little blinded by the fact that it's an Oscar de la Renta, and is that what made me want to buy it, like kind of sort of, but I also genuinely like the style. Now, what a real like legit vlogger would do is try this on for you or insert a picture. You guys, I'm here to tell you that I just can't bring myself to do that right now for a multitude of reasons, one of which I just don't feel like it. That's a way to encapsulate all the feelings. I'm also an idiot. Why have I just let this be in this bag? I need to go hang it up. So it has the original tag on it. It is a $1,500 dress that I got for $185. So let me show you. So the top is like this. It has these like little kind of floral prints. And then we think, by we, I mean me and Sarah were looking. It has Italian all over it. And I think it's recipes. And it's just this gorgeous little, like, it's very Eastery, very teachery. It's very much like my style. And then it has that belt on it. I know I'm doing it no justice. I think that the colors are like, they're pretty, they're whatever. I think that my dark hair works well with like this lighter colored dress. And it fit really, really well. And I just couldn't pass up an Oscar de la Renta dress. You know what I mean? Oh, and Sarah, when she was like trying to Google something about like what that dress said in Italian, she Googled Oscar de la Renta, and the first thing that popped up, like an Oscar de la Renta like floral dress, whatever, the first thing that popped up was how the dress that Taylor Swift wore to the Grammys with flowers all over it was Oscar de la Renta, and so it felt like a sign. So therefore, I bought the dress. So there's my vintage stuff. I'm now going to give you some life updates, but I think I'm gonna rearrange before I do that. This one session has been too long, so God, I really am mad about this. Well, you guys. Do I look like Paddington Bear? Me thinks yes. But do I look a little bit cool? Or no? Shout out to my Super Nintendo. Shout out to his family. If you know what that is, I owe you $1 million. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys. I'm gonna try to keep this as non-rambly and as direct as possible, but if you know me, you know that that's not my strong suit. Let me start by making the announcement that I am moving back to my home state, my hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. Pause for reaction. I have technically not lived in my hometown since I was 18, which is so wild to think about. So when I graduated high school, I went to college, which was 2 hours away from my hometown. So that was like kind of sort of still being at home, but technically wasn't. And then I graduated at 22 and, right? 19, 22, yeah, 22. And then I moved straight to California. And I lived in California for, I think it was like 5 or 6 years. And then I've lived here for 4 years, right? Yeah. I think I'm doing all the math correctly. And so it's basically been 10 plus years that I've never lived in my hometown as an adult. And it's something that I've like toyed with in my head for a while. Honestly, like on and off over the years, no matter what my life circumstance was. If you know me in real life or you have followed me on this channel at all, I have shown parts of my life. I have been through several different relationships that have been displayed here. I had one, like in terms of big significant ones or whatever, one that was down in California, one that was up here in Oregon, and that ultimately was the reason I moved up here. And when that ended almost 2 years ago, it was this moment of, it was such a disheveled, kind of crazy time and situation and the way it all happened. And there was this moment where everyone around me was kind of like, well, are you going to go back home? Like, are you going to move back to Arizona? And I remember thinking like, well, here's the thing, like I could, but I guess at risk of sounding like dramatic, I didn't really have like a go back home. Like there was no comforting place to really go to deal with the tumultuous situation that I was in. And so while staying out here on my own completely, and I was starting a new job at the time, which was part of the complication of it all, as much as that was like scary, it was kind of like, well, yeah, I could go home, but like, what is home? Like, I haven't been here since high school. So I stayed, and I am so grateful and sorry, but proud that I stayed up here. I got this place, and thank God for cannoli, truly thank God for cannoli. And I have made the most of it, you know, and I've lived life up here, and I have dated up here, even when I felt like I like was definitely never going to consider a serious, committed, like long-term monogamous relationship again. I am only human, and so like, you know, I dated and had interactions and stuff. I mean, also mind you, it's been the pandemic. Like, it's just been a wild ride from the moment that breakup happened to here. And so the point of me saying all this of like, there was a time where I thought about going home, which maybe would have made more sense to a lot of people because it was kind of in this crisis type moment. I'm ultimately so happy that I didn't do that, and that when I made the decision to move back to Phoenix, it was from a place of like contentment and happiness, and me being like, well, I actually really love it up here. I love my job. But when I look at the pros and the cons, like, I miss my family, and I'm ready to be around my niece and nephew, and I'm ready to be an adult in the same city as my mom, so on and so forth. And so I think that helped give me even more peace about it, that I feel like, you know, you're making the right decision when it's not based in like a grass is greener, trying to escape from something else type of thing, which is what it was. And so I was down there at Christmas time for literally like 6 weeks. And in the back of my head, I kind of already knew at that time that I was going to be moving down there. Anyway, so big exciting stuff. I mean, I have since, from that point of making that decision, I applied for a job. I got a job. I'm going to be teaching kindergarten at like my dream ideal school down there. And so that's exciting. And things just kind of started, like my ducks were in a row, so to speak. And I just want to say really quickly, I don't even remember what else I have said in this vlog about Jake. I feel like it's not been much. I've just been like, hi, here's Jake, like whatever. This is so disjointed, but here's the story of Jake. But let me start by saying, I met Jake in high school. We have known each other for over half our lives, which is crazy. You can probably hear cannoli eating in the background. God bless him. And I know that it ultimately doesn't matter, but for me, for my sake, I just want it to be known that like, I am not moving back to Arizona because I reconnected with a boy from my hometown. Not that that would even be a bad thing. That's the thing. I think the reason I feel so passionate about like saying it is because for me personally, yeah, I wouldn't love the idea of like moving for a guy. Although again, I don't think that that's necessarily some inherently negative thing. I think it can be tricky. I think it can, you know, have some downsides to it, but I don't think it's some like horrendously negative thing that I like would want to feel judged for, or that I would judge somebody else for. But I think for me, similar to me having made up my mind about going to Arizona, at a time when I was just like happy and content and having that feel like, wow, this really was the right move. The way that things happened with Jake when I already was going to be moving back home and I already had my job in the neighborhood where like we both basically grew up, and all these different things coming into play for the thing with Jake to then happen was just like the sweetest icing on top of the best cake I've ever had. Like, so I just want to say that I'm going to tell you the story of Jake right now, but I'm not moving home for him. It's just that I did all the other steps first, and then there he was. And I just feel literally like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I'm so grateful and so happy. And you guys, I literally, also, I filmed a conclusion for my year of dating myself. I just never got around to editing it and posting it. I'm gonna do that. I'm sorry. I'm a hot mess. It is what it is. But I have had so many thoughts about relationships over the course of my life, honestly, but over the last couple of years. And I just want to stress how big of a deal it is, I guess, to me, for me to be I understand I'm not some mega influencer or whatever. And a lot of people who watch my channel actually personally know me, although a lot of you also don't. So hey, hi, what's up? But it's a really big deal for me to be talking about this and publicly being in another relationship. And I guess the only reason I say that is because it's true and it's something I think about, but also because I'm just so happy. And I'm so excited, and I just feel, trying not to speak in platitudes too much here, I feel like I must have done something right to have this fall into my lap the way that it has. And so let me give you the long and short. So Jake and I met in high school. We were the same grade. We had maybe a couple of classes together over the course of the 4 years. We for sure had one class together when we were seniors, which we both even hardly remember. But LOL that he found what I wrote in his yearbook and it referenced how we had English together. During the course of those 4 years, we were in circles that ran kind of together, but not the same circle. And he was buddies with my high school boyfriend at the time. And he had classes with some of my close circle friends. And so he was kind of always just on the outer ring. I always thought fondly of him. I liked him. I would see him at parties, but I had no real concrete memories or whatever with him. And then we graduated high school in 2007. What up, millennials through and through. And because of that time frame, we, if you're around my age at all, that was when Facebook was popping off, and then Instagram and Twitter and all of these things. And it was really common to interact with people that you grew up with through these platforms. And so I don't even know how it happened. It was so organic, but Jake and I just literally always spoke over the years. And this is something that I don't think either one of us really even realized until now that we're together and stuff. We've gone back and researched this, and it's wild. I do remember all of this, but it was almost just so natural and so ingrained. But for years we would do the happy birthday post on each other's Facebook or comment on each other's posts, wall posts, back when it was called a wall. On Twitter, oh my gosh, we had so many random little exchanges, and they always bordered on flirty, but it was just so I don't even know how to explain it. So, but I was in relationships, and then he would be in relationships, and it was, the way I say it is, we infrequently yet consistently were in touch for years, ever since we met, really. And so there's all that. And from his end, he's yeah, I always thought you were a babe. I always kind of had a crush on you, but just kind of more of an innocent crush of oh, she's this cute, nice girl from my high school. But we lived in different places. And again, half the time I was in a relationship or he was in a relationship or whatever. And when the pandemic started just over a year ago, everybody was on their phones a lot more, on social media, connecting, all that kind of stuff. And he said that at the time he noticed that, wait a second, I think she's single again, because he had noticed that I wasn't single for a while there. And his words, I almost wish he was here to speak for himself, but that he kind of started turning up the flirt just a little bit. And again, I don't know how much intention there was behind what he was even doing, because you know, like there didn't really need to be. And he didn't know that I was like moving back yet. I didn't even really know it at this time. But we started talking a little bit more on like Instagram and Instagram stories, which I'm quite active on. At Loopy Loves You if you want to follow. It's a wild ride. But we would just talk on there a lot. And it was like fun, good natured, whatever. Occasionally we would text. Super like occasionally. And again, when I look back at it, it's like over this last year, I feel like he just so perfectly laid out like this little candy trail for me. And I don't mean this to sound any type of negative way against him at all. If I'm like, you are a literal king and master, because he was always the perfect balance of being like flirty and like putting himself out there, but not even going like a pinky over the line. Like he never once came across as like creepy or like thirsty or anything. He just was like confident and open and direct and like flirty, but like also just like not. And so I think this just kind of helped build, and all the things that happened in this last year, which I mean, it's just crazy to think about. Like I'm vaccinated. I just want to say that. But like I kind of dated kind of a lot. But I think that was a really good thing, because I just learned even more things that, I mean, I've learned from being in serious relationships, but then it was like me kind of being like, okay, maybe let me try to dip my toes back in this water. Like maybe I will, I don't know. And I just learned so much. And then at the end of the day, it's like, who was there and who had always been there? And it was Jake. And so one night I was out with my friend, like having drinks, and you know how it can be when you're like, you've had a couple drinks and you're kind of like, who do I want to talk to on my phone? I'm notorious for like drunk texting like my best friends, because I just want to like talk to somebody when I'm kind of in that, you know, couple drinks in headspace. And I'll do that with boys, but really in recent years, it's more so me like drunk texting like David or like some of my other best friends. But on this night, who did I reach out to? Jake. And at the time, I really didn't even know why, or like, I just was like, hi, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. And it was really funny because Mr. Direct himself, like eventually at some point in that conversation was like, so what has you texting me in the middle of the night? And I was like, not ready to be brought out into the daylight. I was just like, nothing, Jake, nothing, like whatever. It was pretty funny. And then, you know, we had a few more interactions. And then what it was one night I was thinking a lot about music, which is true. And I love Taylor Swift. Hello, that's not a shock. And I love exploring new music. All of these things are true. And all of these things are accurate. And I was thinking a lot about the people who helped make Folklore and Evermore, like the collaborators. So Jack Antonoff, Aaron Dessner, and Bon Iver. Like, because between them writing or producing or singing on whatever, they were all like artists who have their own stuff who contributed to those albums. And I was just in a headspace of like, wow, I should really listen to the National, Bleachers, and Bon Iver, because if I love Folklore and Evermore so much, I feel like that's the right thing to do. And then I was like, you know who would know about these bands? Jake. So on this night, young Catherine here texted Jake and she asked him about those bands. And we basically never stopped talking from that day on. I mean, you know, I texted him that night and he texted me back, and we ended up listening to a record by the National, Boxer, if anybody's wondering, in tandem that night, and just like texting about it. And we were like texting for a few hours and like whatever. And it was super fun, super cool. Again, this is a person I've known for like over half my life. So it didn't feel so like mysterious, like some totally unknown connection or whatever, but like kind of, because it was the most concentration of like communication we had had. And what's crazy is, oh my gosh, I feel like so cheesy, but I went to bed because it was a school night, and I was like, okay, well, like this has been fun. Like Talk to you later. Oh, and this time he did know that I was moving back to Arizona. I told him that like in the fall sometime. And again, on his side, he has like admitted to like, yeah, when I saw you were single, I turned up the flirt. But when I knew you were coming back to Arizona, I probably turned it up a little bit more. Because not that he was like, I'm gonna make her my girlfriend or whatever, but just that like he wanted to hang out and he wanted to like lay the groundwork of like, we've always kind of been social media friends, like let's see each other IRL again and see what happens. So anyway, that's another piece of this story of like the breadcrumbs or the candy trail that he laid out for us. But so back to this night, we're texting about the album and I go to bed and I wake up the next morning and I roll over towards my phone and admittedly the first thought in my head was like, what did Jake say? And it was kind of like that moment of like when you're talking to somebody and you're like giddy about like texting all the time or like getting that good morning text or seeing their name come across your phone or whatever. And it was me being like, oh, what did Jake say? And then I was like, because I had just woken up and I was like out of it. And I was like, wait a second. What are you doing, Katie? You're not talking to Jake. Like I kind of startled myself by having that reaction because I was treating it like he was like my interest, my love interest at the moment. And I was like, whoa. Wait, what? And then I spent like a couple of days kind of just like thinking about it and being like, that was really fun. Like, I kind of hope we get to talk soon. And he kind of did the same. And then it was like a day or two later that he took an opportunity of responding to one of my Instagram stories about cannoli or something. And he like messaged me and then we, and then it just kept going. And then I had spring break. And so I had a lot more time on my hands in this time period. It was only a couple days later. And one of these nights after texting all day, every day for several days, he just kind of goes, if you ever wanted to talk on the phone, like that's something that I'd be into or like I'd be interested in. And I called him and we talked for like 5 hours or something like that. And that until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And then we did it again the next night and the next night. And so we just never stopped talking. And I feel like I've given way too much detail, but also maybe not even enough. But all I'm going to say is that like he came up here to visit me and that was the first time we'd seen each other in forever. But it was after just when I tell you the amount of hours that we spent talking, and it was really nerve-wracking. But I feel so cheesy, but it was even better than I could have imagined. And I was imagining it to be pretty good. But it was even better. I thought I would never love again. I thought I would never have a boyfriend again. And I sure as heck thought that I would never put it online again. But that was before I knew about something like this. And so that's the story of Jake and Katie, JK, get it? They go together in the alphabet. They're also like, just kidding, you get it. I don't know how much of this I'm going to post. Like, I'll probably like, will I edit all of this out because I just feel so cringy? I don't know. But yeah, that's the story of how I ended up with a boyfriend who I've known for over half my life. And he is an absolute gem. And you heard it here first, people. I never thought I would put this on the internet ever again. And so heaven forbid if this one doesn't work, like please somebody tell me, girl, never put that on the internet ever again. Okay? You heard it here. I told him that. I'm like, listen, if this doesn't work out, like I don't want to get into all that, but I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. And again, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @LoopyLovesYou. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, nice ones, I'd love to hear them. Expect like moving content and all of that. So love you the most. Bye.